Hey guys, I'm Andrew Dunlop, and this is my second in my series all about how to write your novel. In the previous video, I covered how to find your motivation, so if you missed that, go check it out. And just to recap, I'm ending each week with an exercise because I know there's some of you out there that just love a little bit of homework. So last week's exercise was to ask yourself the question, what will happen if I don't write my novel? So I hope that whatever your answer was, it left you feeling pumped up and ready to commit to writing your novel. Or maybe your answer was, meh, I just don't care that much if I don't write my novel. And in that case, I hope that you found something more productive to do with your precious time. So today I'm going to be talking about a really popular topic that I get asked about all the time, which is writing habits, and namely how to develop good ones. So first, let's talk about why habits matter so much. So last week I talked about really harnessing your motivation, finding the why. And I think, again, this is really important to kickstart you into the process of writing your book. But the reality is you're not going to feel motivated and fired up every day. If someone was trying to win Wimbledon, they're going to be out there hitting buckets of balls and running lines and hitting the weight room. And, it's much more grind than glory. And the same thing is really true of writing. And so you can't rely on limited resources like motivation and inspiration to get you there. So it's going to be an exceptional day when you finally sit down to write your novel. But after that, there's going to follow a whole bunch of regular days where you still have to work on it. So first I want to talk about, some bad advice on writing habits, because there's a certain variety of writing advice that just really sticks in my craw. And this can be sort of filed under anything that's super dogmatic. So anything that says, you have to write every single day, or you have to write 1,000 words a day, or sort of it doesn't count. If you don't do these things, then you're not a real writer. And this really bothers me because usually the person who's giving this writing advice is an established writer, probably someone who has, a wife who's looking after his children and walking his dog and making sure his electric bill gets paid. So most of us are not in that position. We have to deal with life first before we can get to writing. And I think, it's really important to stress that there is no one way to build good writing habits. You just need to find a way that works for you. So a little bit about my writing habits. Last video I talked about that amazing, life-changing conversation I had with Polly Devlin, where she asked me, oh, can you get up in the morning and write before you go to work? And, I did that again, motivated by a deep existential fear. And that was the first time in my life that I'd ever written in the morning. And I really came to love it. I would wake up in the morning and go down across the street and get my coffee from Dunkin' Donuts and sit there at my desk for an hour by myself. And I think, again, sort of having those little rituals around your habits can really make them stick and make them really enjoyable. And I do think that there's a really big benefit to writing in the morning. It's nice to wake up with a clear head. You get it out of the way first. There's less of a chance of getting sidetracked or like shanghaied by the crazy news cycle that is every day of our lives now in 2019. But again, this is not always possible. My habits have changed a lot over the last year, namely because I have a small and adorable upheaval known as my daughter Fiona, who came and thwarted my idea about writing in the morning. So now I write in the afternoons or whenever it is that she's napping or I have childcare. So it's always good to be flexible, even if you find habits that really work for you. So how do you find habits that work for you? So I think the question to ask is, where can you carve out just a little bit of space in your life for writing? Can you get up earlier? Can you stay up a little bit later? Can you work on your lunch break? Can you work on the weekends? And it doesn't take much. A half an hour is, you can accomplish a lot in a half an hour if you really take it seriously. NaNoWriMo, which I know some of you are participating in, is really fun. It's kind of a binge tactic, but it's definitely not, a sustainable pace for most of us, 50,000 words a month. So, I think even now, if you're doing NaNoWriMo, just be thinking about how you can incorporate some of the things you're learning into, your long-term daily habits. One of my favorite stories is that the author of Must Love Dogs wrote the book while she was in her car waiting for her kids to finish up with their sports. And most first novels, and certainly a great deal of second, third, and fourth novels, are written in this way, these kind of stolen moments in between life happening. But habits are important. Repetition is important. I think it takes the thinking out of it and it makes it an automatic part of your day. So whatever you can do to make that happen, give it a try. So your exercise for this week is to pull your calendar up for the next week and schedule 4 to 5 30-minute blocks for writing. And then write during those 5 blocks of time. So, okay, let me know how it's going out there. As always, let me know if you have comments and questions. I'm going to be answering any questions in a bonus video at the end of the month. And in the meantime, I will be back next week to talk about what to do if and when you get stuck.